This is Chitra Saxena, Vice President of IASNM. Supporting this event today, we have Deepak Bera, nuclear medicine consultant in the field of clinical development and medical, graciously sponsoring our webcast today. Good morning, everyone from New York, California, and good evening in India. It is my privilege and a true honor to introduce a legend full of grace, compassion, leadership, and a shining star, a scientist leader in the field of nuclear medicine, Dr. Jyotsna Rao. IASNM mission is to promote the exchange of ideas, knowledge, technical expertise by welcoming our speakers in our webinar named Chai with Scintillating Stars. So today our scintillating star is Dr. Jyotsna Rao. Her accomplishments are far too many to list. However, few of her national and international accolades are as follows. She was a director of NCPI Sacramento, California in 2001 to 2002. She was a nuclear medicine consultant in Medwin Hospital, Hyderabad from 2003 to 2004. She's a PET CT and a nuclear medicine consultant in Apollo PET CT Center, Hyderabad. She's a founding member of Infectious Disease Imaging Group of the World Molecular Imaging Society. She's a founding member of the Women's Interest Group of the World Molecular Imaging Society. She's a founding member of Molecular Imaging Society of India, a chapter of World Molecular Imaging Society. Dr. Rao, welcome to our Chai with Scintillating Star. You have had an astonishing career. Can you kindly educate us on your fascinating, successful, and passionate journey? How did you start in this field, Dr. Rao?
First of all, thank you, Chitra, for the very kind introduction to this interview. And I'd like to thank IASNM, Deepak, and you for this opportunity. On behalf of MISI, I'm proud to represent MISI. So my journey started in Hyderabad. I studied at Osmania Medical College, and after completing MBBS, I moved to the US. My nuclear medicine residency I did at Christ Hospital, Cincinnati. Then I joined Dr. Peter Walk at the Northern California PET Imaging Center in Sacramento, California. And after spending about 4 years with him, I moved back to Hyderabad in India, which I always wanted to. Then I worked at Medwin hospitals for a couple of years, and then I moved to Apollo hospitals, where they got the first PET CT scanner in the private sector in India. And I've been there since then. So that's been my professional journey.
Wow, that's amazing. What a milestone. It's just amazing. So if you were to go back in time, what would you do differently?
I think I've been blessed with a wonderful, exciting, and exhilarating professional journey. I don't think I'd change anything actually, but I might want to add something, because I wasn't exposed to, and I didn't have the opportunity to work in the basic sciences part of imaging. I would have liked to have some exposure to it. It would have added more to my work and understanding of imaging. That's one thing I would have.
I see. Okay. So who is your role model, or was your role model, mentor, who had the most influence on you during this successful journey?
See, I said I had a very fortunate journey because I had the best of the mentors. When I started working with Dr. Peter Walk, I had already had some exposure to PET in Cincinnati, but Dr. Peter Wolf was the one who taught me the basics of clinical PET. So not only the basics of clinical PET, but he taught me how to approach imaging, how to present data, and the honesty and integrity one has to have in clinical or scientific research. So that was a wonderful experience for me. After that, I came back to India, and before coming back to India, I'd actually met Dr. Sam Gambhir at one of your meetings, IASNM meetings. And after coming and starting to work at Apollo, I had an opportunity to actually start working with Dr. Sam Gambhir since we met at an international conference. We actually collaborated, we wrote an article. I visited Stanford, he came and visited our center, and we had many more collaborative projects in mind actually. So I was very fortunate to have worked with him. So what I learned from Dr. Sam Gambhir was how the vision of molecular imaging and how to have, I mean, how to collaborate with people, how to spot talent, how to look at different aspects of imaging, and actually to see that there's nothing small or big in imaging. You can look at so many issues and take it forward. So that was how I had these two great mentors guide me.
Yeah, Dr. Gambhir was a true visionary and a global leader in advancing techniques of molecular imaging. He supported IASNM immensely, and he was a part of us. Yes, it's a big loss. It is indeed a big loss. Can you speak briefly regarding your involvement and vision for women in imaging field, Dr. Rao?
Yes. Um, Actually, I was part, as you said in your introduction, I was part of the starting of this chapter. And when I first listened to all these women scientists speaking about issues they were facing, I realized that these aren't limited to just one country or one region. I mean, they're universal. So, as a woman in imaging, I feel that we'll have to make things easier for the upcoming scientists in terms of reducing discrimination, making it smoother for them to grow. So there's so much to do. But one thing is, we made a lot of progress, I think, because a lot of women scientists are in positions of power in organizations and societies. And we at MISI are actually proud to say that most of our team is consists of women. So we're making progress that we'll continue to do that. So that's my vision for MISI. And we also want to showcase as many women scientists as possible. That's one of the goals of MISI.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and and you said it very well. It is amazing. It is amazing what you're doing. So you are a current president during this unprecedented time where history is being made. How did you apply your leadership in this crisis, and what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts, actually, we have had the toughest times, I think, in modern history, where everyone was affected both at the personal and professional level. And coming to MISI, we were actually trying to find a way when the first wave hit all of us. So actually, we started picking up the tools which are becoming popular then, like webinars, online publishing, and we were very fortunate to actually get all these leaders in the field to write for us, to speak to us. And we've taken it forward that way, and I think we'll continue to do so. And I think even when things improve, we should be using all these tools, especially for a society like MISI, to make things easier for us to reach out to people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for what you did during this time and how you coordinated all your meetings via Zoom to be in touch with everybody. It was very hard, and I do understand that. But thank you. What is the major mission and vision of MISI? And what are your thoughts about basic science research and clinical imaging coming together?
So the mission of MISI actually the very fact that we in existence is because of Dr. Sam Gambhir's vision. And you know how he wanted to bridge clinical science and basic sciences. And I know he always used to say the reason we're doing all this is for the patient. So I think MISI would like to bring out all our scientists and doctors to be working together for the benefit of the patients ultimately by getting academia and the industry together. So we make taking baby steps and hopefully we'll be able to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you. I truly, truly appreciate your time. And I understand you're very busy and taking this time to meet with us and interview and provide your perspective for this noble, noble profession that we are in. Healthcare is a truly noble profession. And thank you for what you do. Deepak, do you have any questions?
Well, I have to think of one, but I'm actually, instead of a question, probably comment. So Dr. Jyotsna Rao was my mentor in my very early days in nuclear medicine. In fact, my first steps in nuclear medicine, pretty much. And she and I have been stayed in touch all through the years. And I think, many of her, not just nuclear medicine teachings, but really real life teachings, and have been instrumental in getting me to a point, and her support throughout. Actually, her encouragement, support, and her belief in me has taken me to where I am at the moment. And so I thank you, Dr. Jyotsna, for this. And if I were to ask a question, I probably shouldn't hazard one. If I were to ask a question, my question would be, I know you do really have that in you to sort of advise and mentor new people in the field, and not just in the field of nuclear medicine. I know that you take care of people, new students and everybody in other areas as well, in the related fields around there. So after all these years of experience, is there something that you think you go back to early days? And I'm one of them. There are so many others. Do you think your style or way of or something, the essence of teaching that you impart on newcomers and people who are getting into the field has changed? Was there something that you would have added early on that you right now do, and has that evolved over time?
I think I should have been more hands-on in terms of doing some research and all that. That is one thing, because I didn't get a chance to work with most of my students in terms of research and things. I have, but I should have done more, because it would have been a learning experience for me also. And when I had my students, we didn't work on many collaborative projects together. Like, for example, if I was working with a student and working with someone like Dr. Sam Gambhir, we'd have all benefited and learned. So something like that. That is one thing I wish I could have done. But the circumstances were different then. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think you've done a lot for a lot of people, given the limitations of distance and everything else surrounding yourself and others and the world and this everything. And so really thankful to you. Thankful from IASNM for taking the time out, and thankful from Medical Imaging Consultancy as well. I'm proud to sponsor you as one of our scintillating stars.
Thank you again. Thank you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule and being with us today. now we can all go ahead and have chai together. So
Yes.
let's meet.
Brilliant.
Yes, yes, true.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.